Hello, everybody. Welcome back here, and we are gladly back and today we're going to be talking about something very great. It is about to accept the reality and see it as a blessing, see it as a positive, because the lack confirmations in here. But as we're talking about here, we're going to be talking about from personal and also a collective kind of like talking together to you guys. If you have some any questions for it, you can ask up here. Also, if you want to connect to us, you can check the email above in there. But what I'm saying is there that lack of the acceptance, first of all, creates all this intense energies. You're not growing, you're not walking within the journey because you don't accept the journey. And the acceptance of the journey is the first things first that it comes in. And when you accept the journey, you accept the reality itself as it is in there. And when you begin to do all this inner work, process changes, evolutions, and so on, you find how beautiful those things came in into your life to blessing your life. And that's what we are going to be talking about this. And without further ado, I'm going to give you Paulina, and she can take it away from here.
Thank you. Yeah, I had to take a break last week. It was only Dio. Uh, just to give overview what was happening to me first, as I attended retreat. That was a weekend retreat. It felt like really that's what I needed. Kind of disconnect a little bit from the mind and just overthinking how it's gonna be. Oh my goodness, how to navigate that, and it really felt like a proper time to just stop and relax and just fill my own cup. And I feel much better. I'm really looking forward to discussion today. And definitely that was also something that helped me to see this reality as we are talking about it. Because I realize like whenever there is a resistance, because you have some plan in your mind, and you think that's the best what can potentially be for you, it doesn't seem to match this bigger picture. So there will be some resistance because you're not fully ready to accept that your reality will be adapting itself. It will be bringing you on your proper path. But sometimes it may feel like, oh, I'm not sure if I'm ready. I'm not sure that's the proper direction. And you will be hesitant. You will be having those doubts, and at some point you may be getting other information coming to you, for example from your body, because the body will be reacting to this resistance that you're in as well. There might be some tensions in your body. There will be something really feeling off, and that's this moment that you will be recognizing that you're not going with this proper flow, that you're resisting something, probably some change that you have to make in your life. And it's with regards to any stage, as you can see right now. It doesn't really matter if you are already connected with someone, you don't talk to someone, you and your state, it's always, this is the thing that you have to monitor. And just look if you are working through those resistances to really be able to make those changes as they are asking for it. Because after that it gets easier once you see that there was some resistance, and as you work through that and start accepting this reality, this shifting reality, it will feel more balanced again. Like you will feel like, oh, I'm back in my own skin. It was so hard, but I got it back. So that was my experience, really, how even it can be manifesting through your body if you are going a little bit off road and try to just reject something that you should really see and adapt to.
Very powerful energy. Hi, Sunshine. Welcome here and welcome all of you. And here is that the part of that accepting the reality, as we talked about before, your body is going to be remind you of what is going on. And it's going to be remind you like, hey, pay attention to this, pay attention to that. When you make the changes in there within yourself, Sometimes the body can wake you up and says like, you haven't made changes within this, you haven't made changes within that, and you may gonna feel like these situations inside of you that of that, as Paulina said, of that resistance. And when the resistance comes in, it shows you, stop resisting it. And when you start walking in the path, you start walking into the journey, you start walking into understanding, all of a sudden the body is released. And you're like, what did I just did? It is the same thing with this. Here, I'm talking about personal experience here. Is like you feel those energies within you, but you within the process, sometimes understanding the road and the journey itself, in there it helps you a lot. And then you find this blessings, because after you accepting the reality as it is, that it is what it is, because of the base of your awareness of understanding, then the blessings are coming. And what are the blessings that are coming for, and how did they feel like it? Everything that you got as a program as during the awakening, it shows you two things: what you're lacking and what you're capable out of it. And you're capable out of it to work with the emotions, to work with the energies, to experiencing this beautiful love as it's been showing to you. But if you start walking in there and you don't see your results, guess what? You are rejecting certain things. And now when you're rejecting, you're not getting the blessings because you're standing against it. And here is for when you know how the journey goes and how the things are going in there, you begin to see in it this a reality as it is, and then you accept it, and the blessings begins to come and they emerge, and they are emerging as a beautiful energy, as a beautiful love, as the emotions that you're going to experiencing right now. They're truthful because you're living into the reality as it is. Okay, it's not like before of what you thought they should be. Now your 5D reality is matching the 3D reality. And here you are. You're finally getting to those blessings that you want. But you have to what? Accept it. You have to accepting this reality, because the other reality that used to be a reality, oh, is gonna be pulling you back. Oh, it's gonna be have those doubts. You're gonna have this, and then your body is like, I don't want to go in there. But you're like, no, 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 I want to go there. And your body's like, no, 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 I don't want to. I have a new reality that I want to get you in there. And then you see how the body is actually talking to you, what is going on. I mean, every time when you have shadows of doubts, lower energies, lower things, what's going on with your body? Maybe your feet hurts, maybe your back hurts, maybe it's a very heavy on your shoulders, your neck maybe hurts. You kind of like seeing things, and you're like, what's going on with me? You don't listen. That's what's going on with you in there. So without overdo, I'm just gonna give you to back into
Mm,
Paulina. So it feels like she has some things to say about here.
apparently. Now with those acceptance, and especially when we are talking about the scenarios that they don't fit to our current understanding. I have my vision for my life, how it's supposed to be. This relationship has to go this certain way, and it won't go any other way. And you will be getting, so I don't want to say stuck, but we just have our visions that it's hard to let go because they are most of the time the most comfortable and they keep us in our safe bubble. There is no pain, there is no disappointment in there, but also there is no truth. So you're gonna be building this reality for yourself, but not seeing things as they are. And very often it's just because it's too uncomfortable to see the truth. Like it's too hurtful, it's gonna be painful. But at the same time, if you're able to really see that with this fresh perspective and see it as an experience that happens to you and it comes to you and it's presented to you this specific way because that's what you're supposed to go through, you cannot reject it. Like you cannot really go around because you're gonna be missing this part of the picture. So it's really, I'm talking, I think, right now mostly about those cases of being in a separation as a twin flame, but then things are not working out. Like clearly, there is no communication, there is no two-sided situations, and yet some people have troubles accepting this reality, right? Like it's just accepting that, okay, this connection right now at this present moment, it's not going anywhere. Right now you're supposed to work on your own, but this is such a scary thought that we just prefer to say, oh no, 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 like he or she is doing their things, like we are still together, we are still in this connection, it's there. But honestly, it's not. It's just the moment that you see, no, someone is not doing the work here, like you're wasting your energy, like just withdraw and just start working on yourself and see what is the next step. This is this huge expansion that can happen to you once you see that, okay, all you can control is you, and you just accept all the circumstances, all these events that are coming to you at present moment, just to embrace them all. There is no neglect, there is no rejecting, there is no cherry picking. Oh, this one feel less painful, let me go through that this way. Instead of seeing really what is the true issue. Are you being treated with respect? Is there mutual communication? And all of those things. And at the same time, it can be also translated into other scenarios in your life. Your life is unfolding certain way, you think you have everything under your control, but then your soul will be calling you somewhere else, and you will be grasping to this control because it's, again, like it's scary to let go. But then the reality is like this control and this life you have a control over, it's really falling apart. Like it doesn't resonate with you anymore. What are you holding on to? So it's sometimes really, it's just letting go and see, okay, the reality wants me to have a different experience, approach the situation from the new perspective, because my body, for example, is telling me that this situation doesn't serve me anymore. I get those anxieties, I get those whatever, like maybe some people have a neck problems around the throat chakra, right? Or headaches or whatever. But it's really giving yourself this, not being afraid to see those situations from different perspectives, and just be, I think, inviting this fresh view, fresh perspective.
Mm-hmm.
We have Lorna in the
Yeah.
chat. So hello to you both, Sunshine and Lorna. Good to see
Uh,
you.
Hi, Lorna. Talking about following up with here, what are you going to do as a partner? Okay, I'm going to be touching base on of this is uh, living into the reality is going to be bringing that in there because during this kind of like a situations in there, you personally can have this pull back into your old. Oh, I'm okay on my own. Oh, I'm okay on this. Oh, I can be like that, and so on and so on. You can have at the same time, your partner can go at exactly the same thing from within because the one is experiencing the other experience. You can experience also the previous relationships or previous cycles that you went through it. They are going to be coming back to you because, in the road, you're getting into the same position, all right, as before. And right now, during it and this, you're like, okay, before I didn't look the reality as the way the reality it is. And I didn't get this blessing. Now I'm going to be going into the reality as it is without me putting agendas, expectations, situations, and so on and so on. I'm just going to go flow it. I'll let the divine goes on. Your divine time is beginning on that. And when you accept that reality, the divine timing is aligning up with that reality in there. You're going to feel it. The energy, it is completely off chart. I'm not talking about of this palpitations and anxiety in a positive kind of like a way that you cannot sleep and you're so pumped up, fired up, super excited. No, let me be more specific. The energy is so much real positive that brings in. Now that positiveness that it's coming from the 5D, it's manifesting in the 3D. And when that energy begins to manifest, You finally getting it. You finally kind of like received of all these things that you went through it as a study within the twin flames journey. You are right now completing it out. You begin to feel in it. In a way, it's going to be feel like you going back into normal human relationships. But when you seek it in there even deeply, they are not actually normal human relationship. Now they're human relationship with the awakened soul. You understand it. And now is your blessing because you feel that experience as a soul into the 3D. And that energy as a partner right there helps to show up to the partner within itself, within a partnership. And through the communications, as Paulina said, that energy begins to flow. Okay. But it's still accepting the reality. That issue right there, when you overcome it within your soul, when you get in it in there, what the blessings are is that bliss that you feel of that completion. First of all, on a personal level, as you experience it in there, but a second of all, as the combined. And then guess what? No stress, no anxiety, no panic attacks, no fear, weird, and so on and so on. Kind of like the divine, it's taken away from you. Give your burdens to the divine. Why? Because you're accepting that the divine energy is within you, the road. And then the things beginning even getting better. All of a sudden the blessings shows up. The things are coming up. And the divine, it's reminds you. Okay? So that's how it goes, guys. I mean, at the perspective. But when other things are going on, it is about you. Look at it, the both issues in there, and as a partner, you're supporting your partner. You're right there and next to it, not acting from this lower states as before. Even though there's going to be that test for you, but when you are accepting the reality, then the things are balanced. You going back into the reality as it is. So, Lorna, it takes from you instead of giving to you. Uh, it takes from you instead of giving to you. I don't know what is that about. If you, Lorna, can be more specific, cannot catch it. What is that comment about that? But oh, if you're not living in the reality, it takes from you instead of giving to you. Maybe that's what it is. Yes, totally correct in that. Totally agree with you in there. And I'm just going to give you the mic back into Paulina.
Mm. Was just coming to me when you were talking about accepting the reality. Really, this is accepting the energies, the divine, universe, whatever the life path, like accepting the life path. That's how I would call it. The moment you can see that there is something that tries to steer you and take you somewhere, the moment you can accept that, no matter how uncomfortable it may feel or painful or hurtful, if you enter this surrender stage, that you recognize that there is some power. You cannot put the names to that, you cannot name it. Some people have different definitions, but this moment of recognition that you really just to have to put control on aside. There is something that it has more power than you have, and you can try to fight it, you can try to oppose that, reject that. It's gonna go with its own flow. But what you can do is you can keep resisting to see things how they are, or you can just say, okay, I give up. I tried my best to whatever save this relationship, or I tried so much to hold on to this very thing, but it still falls apart. Like I give up. And then you just remove this resistance, and that's the moment that you will get some redirection, or maybe you will see something flowing different direction, because finally you remove the resistance. So you will see how, oh, suddenly things begin to flow. Suddenly I'm meeting more people. Suddenly you got some new offer, whatever it is. But it starts with this acceptance and recognition of those higher powers. Like your higher self, your higher guidance that tries to get you on track with your own evolution.
Yeah, talking about this, very beautiful, baby. Thank you. You see, this is what we like to do at live because there is no kind of like a script or anything up here to it. And guys, when you lived before, you didn't accept the reality and you try to fake in the reality, which is putting your face mask on or create this kind of like, okay, in the name of this, I can sacrifice in the name of that and in the name of this. However, you faking it. It's like fake it till you make it, but the fake it didn't help you to make it. And because he was missing the reality. And what happened in the previous cycles, karmic cycles, friendship cycles, and so on and so on, you understand that that false mask was because you're trying to fit and repaint the other person or repaint the situations or even put yourself down so you can be just be in there. While right now, right here, you don't have the face mask. You don't have the things. You deserve the truth. Why? Because it's a true love. You put the cards on the table. You put the things that is gonna be in there. It's not like before. It's like, how are you? How was your days? Oh, it was okay. It was a good day at work, even though there was so much crap going on. Or we are talking about even during the ignition, you coming back at home and you're all full of love about that love about towards this twin flame of yours, and your counterpart is asking you in there and so on, how was your day was and so on and so on. You don't even want to say about anything about the twin flame, right? And you put that face mask in there, and all of a sudden you're wondering why your twin flame is not truthful to you because you're not truthful, first of all, to yourself and to your partner. The journey is going to be asking you to be truthful no matter what. But with that truthfulness right now, in this kind of like a stage right here, when you start advancing more and more within the journey, the acceptance of the reality begins not just a need, not just the requirements. It's a part of life. You're accepting the reality. Now you change a totally the paradigm shift, and then the blessings when it comes in, the bliss that it's coming in, the internal happiness, the internal peace in the soul, and your soul is experiencing within the body because the body said, "Oh, you're not going where you're supposed to." And now you're going wherever you're supposed to, and aligning within the reality. You're going within there, and all of a sudden, everything is just blessing. You see, that's what people needed to hear it in there that this thing's happening, but it's required this reality of acceptance inside of you, and you accepting the journey because what you accept, that's what it comes within you. What you reject, it's gonna come to you until you accept. And that right here is kind of like a is going to be committing to you because you don't want a face mask. You don't want anything. You don't want this. You want the truth, the reality. And the reality is beautiful. Yeah, your ego is not going to like it. Your ego on the basis of survival is not going to like it. The old behavior pattern of like, oh, I can put the face mask off is not going to like it. Your soul is not going to like that. You see, all these kind of like things, they're going to come. But when you align it with the reality, you see it. And when you see it, you have that beautiful love experience that you dream for. You're wondering, did you ever live before, right? But you already know it because during the awakening you had it. You got the glimpses of that. now you're experiencing those glimpses. And this is a kind of like a giving you a perspective of you did your job well done, as far as you going into this reality of you, using the soul within you, that it comes in within a beautiful connection. So back to you, darling.
I was just doing the checkup, and it really is how you explain. We were talking a little bit about it before the chat, but um, especially talking to people who have experiences with several soul connections. If you're doing your work, meaning like if you're really increasing your level of awareness, you get to know yourself and you know your patterns, and you overcome some of the trauma, so you're not reacting from these automatic behaviors anymore, and you just take a look into one of your first experiences within the soul connection, like how much you've grown and how much really it tries to bring you this first experience that usually we don't get it right the first time, just we are just messing it up, but then you get another shot, and it doesn't really matter whether you're gonna go through that with the same person, different person. In terms of evolution, it doesn't matter, because it just what is supposed to show you, like conscious relationship is supposed to show you your growth. So if you see some old patterns repeated, but you see that you have changed, you do those things differently, that's this time to take a credit for yourself, right? Like just to be proud of your work and just see, okay, that really works. Because that's what I am experiencing right now. Like I feel this relationship that we have right now with Dio is almost like upgraded version of this, like a sample that I was giving during the awakening, but I had no idea how to navigate with that. I had so much of this old stuff that was not serving me. I had to get rid of, but I had to spend my own personal time doing it because I wanted to prepare for this next shot. But it's very beautiful how it really comes down to this putting yourself higher, raising your standards, and then from this space you can really build whatever you really desire during this, what was shown in the ignition state, what was so attractive to you in the ignition state. It will be becoming your reality because you're gonna be emitting that, like you're gonna be vibrating at the same frequency. So that's what you're gonna be expecting to manifest in your life. But that's very beautiful. But um, I think that's a big part to really see this progress, right? Like it's not, we are not stagnant here. As long as you are putting attention to yourself, but not to punish yourself, you really analyze yourself, you do little steps. But if you look back, there is always, you're always evolving further and further. So sometimes those reminders are nice to have. Not stick to the past too much, but just recognize, oh, you've done a lot of work already.
Yeah, about that, about the past, in sense like Lorna mentions about your energy. You see, when the past comes in, what did you did in the past? In the past, all this kind of like worries, situations, and so on, and things that you wanted to happen there, and so on. Guess what happened? It takes your energies away from that acceptance of the reality. So when it takes the energies away from you, you feel intensified, the aggravations, and so on and so on. Oh, he or she don't react the way I want it. He or she is not doing what it's supposed to. He or she, and you go back into that old pattern in there. And now all of a sudden, you're like, why am I acting like this? Now in this kind of like a levels there, it's just like now you're just like, stop. Wait a minute. Why I'm feeling so low? What is it this? Oh, that's my way of thinking. Because it doesn't match the reality. I'm not matching this reality in there. And that's why. I see that the reality is different. Why isn't that? Because of your old behavior pattern developed of the previous cycles, the previous situations, the previous things. Okay? I'm going to give you an example as a matrix when Neo went out to the creator. and he shows him more pictures on the screens with all his previous versions. What happened in there? Whatever he did, what is going on, and so on, and what he had to do, right? Choices. You have to make the choices. But when you make the choices of the choosing the reality and accept the reality, the thing's gonna happen for you. First of all, when you choose the reality, stop with all this past, because when you bring the past becomes alive. You go back into that cycles. You go back into your worries. You go back into your whatever it is. Accepting the reality is the way it is. And there, then all that in the past doesn't affect you. You're walking in the path of the evolutions and the state there you are. And the blessings are coming with this as a gift. And the blessings that you have no worry, you enjoy. You are in a Kuna Matata mood. Okay? You keep on going. Things begins to flow, but they flow differently. They're going, they're flowing, but they're flowing differently. Okay? You never been operated like this before. You're gonna be feel a little bit strange. Okay? Because guess what? Something is missing. What is it missing in there? Your ego, your shadow, your desires, your frustrations, and guess what? Your expectations are not there anymore. You used to live like that. Now they're not there. Now the only thing that it's here is you finding those patterns and you begin to develop, you raising yourself up. As Paulina said, when you raise the standards, when you raise your standard, the lower standards, the gap between the lower and the higher standards right now within you is different. But when that higher standards reach the point of the evolution to match the reality, and you accepted that, guess what happens? You accepted the level the way you are right now, and your journey as a twin flame, the divine partnership, soulmate, however is in your case, and then everything falls into that part of meshing together. Okay, it's like two gears. They're coming and they're turning each other in a perfect pitch. Okay, there's no problems, and now the machine is rolling and going. So that's what I was saying, but that was a good thing because you're gonna feel because the energy is gonna be drained. What is it drains your energy? Your past, whatever happened before, and you're fearing that the past is gonna repeat itself. And when you're fearing the past repeats itself, you put and you invest more energies in the past, and now the past becomes reality, and things can repeat. But you can choose to repeat, or you can choose to learn, and you're like, aha, goodbye. I gotta move up. And that's what I wanted to say. But thank you, thank you. That was a good thing.
Yeah, but wanted to talk more
Yeah,
about from maybe from more from the energy standpoint, that it seems to be like whenever you have some energy blocks because you want to get higher, it's time for you to get to the next stage. For whatever reason, you cannot, like, either there is some trauma that has to be healed or it's your own fears. I think that's how we also can experience those things happening to our bodies, if, for example, because like if you keep resisting, and even your mind is not aware of this, your body will be telling you. So I think advice to everyone who's dealing with some sudden changes in their body or sudden aches, this is really good signpost for you to see what are you dealing with. And there is like so much in materials out there, but those examples, if you have lower back pain, like, are you afraid of your safety, about your safety and all of this, right? Like, do you have a throat ache or neck pain? Like, do you have trouble expressing yourself and all of this? It's very beautiful how we can use that, like everything is our guide here, right? Especially when we are talking about our bodies, like we have to be anchored in our bodies so much, because the more energy you want to embrace and they operate, as a vessel, you have to make sure that your body is in the right order, because it's those are very intense energies that are flowing, right? Those the ones that you haven't experienced before, the ones that, because you were not high enough to experience them. Constantly you have to make sure that your body is in right shape, right? So it's, and from time to time, yes, we may have those periods that we don't care that much about what we eat, or we drink too much coffee or all of that. Like, those are periods, but especially in those times of this intense transitions or sudden transitions, I think that's how everything is just asking you to bring yourself to this right space. Just make sure that your body is strong, that you're mentally strong, and all of that. So it's funny how it's just always keep repeating itself. It's not just about getting one time in a shape and then you can forget about it because you're awake. You're awake. It's gonna be in a cycles and cycles if at some point one of your bodies is going out of balance. And especially for me, within all those, accepting the realities and the way my body was reacting to all of this, it was just showing me how much I need grounding, but in less spiritual sense, but really being aware of my body. Just really, even walks were not enough, but it just, I had to experiment, how I can be more and more aware of my body to make this connection stronger. And honestly, with all these changes, like, that's what bring me back to myself, because it was not mental work. It was not like continuing the inner work and grinding and all of that. It was disconnecting from all of that and just remembering more this human part. So that's interesting. Like, we cannot abandon this. Is It's still, it's 3D, but we are anchored here, and this is also a blessing to be here, right? So it's also part of how are you appreciating you being here, and how are you maybe trying to see those positives, like what you still have to accomplish here or what you have accomplished so far, but just be like gratitude, right, about your body, I guess. Mm.
Yeah, the way it is that after you've done all this work and so on, you're gonna figure it out the things with your body. And talking about here within the body, you guys know for a few years I was under medical treatment, so my body was weak, and I'm right now really digging up, working in there. But you can figure it out that when you fix the thing in there, your body is gonna be kind of like become all of a sudden a priority. Why? You fix yourself in a spiritual and a soul level, behavior patterns, you heal everything and so on. But the body has this kind of like a wounds from the journey. As Paulina said, you maybe drink too much coffee, or you maybe because of the journey, in order to handle it, you probably drink too much alcohol, or you just all of a sudden sit down and just to sit and eat a lot and a lot just to get, you probably gain a weight. You probably went into depression. You lost the weight, whatever happened within because of the journey, your body is going to take a toll. I said that long time ago. Our body was not meant to be to hold on to those higher vibrations in there, but now since you're fixing it in there and you're going to be working on your body is going to be really helping you to embody the soul, because everything else is ready except the body. And now your body's going to tell you, I need to adjust this. I need to eat some more salads. I need to put some more vitamins. I need to get some more meat. If you didn't eat enough during and there or so on. Whatever it's imbalanced, the body is going to tell you. And the beauty it is for that now with all the understanding, you're putting everything under the one roof. Okay. You're putting everything under the one roof. You're putting spirit, soul, heart, emotions, energies, vibrations, gravitations, and physical. All your planes of existence, you're putting it together. And then all those planes of existence, they begin to flow within the reality. And that's where the blessings are coming. Okay, you're not worried too much about inner work because you already know how to do inner work. You're not worried about too much about the spiritual work because you already know who you are. You have contacts with your soul and your spirit. You're not worried about that emotions because the emotions are squared away. You're understanding how to control them, not to go down with the emotions, but to balancing your emotions. Now, from the balancing your emotions, you're balancing your mental state. Your mental state creates the energies that it's coming into you. That energy that it comes in, you already understand, creates a magnetic field that attracts and rejects. So whatever you accepted in the reality as you knew from in there, guess what? You're attracting the reality as it is into yourself. And now with all this that it comes in together, it's coming to the body. Okay? And now when you're accepting that, the blessings begins to heal the body. As in the Bible, they said God comes in and rejuvenate the body and give it to how many more lives life years to live more, and he lived into 150 or 200 years and had a happy life and so on and so on. But did they explain how this process goes on? The only thing that they expressed was one thing. The person who got granted all those years and so on had to do some divine work, had to believe in God, had to be doing it to do this. He had to let it go of something and accept something else. And now you're getting it, the acceptance, by doing it. And now you understand what was this purpose about it. That little missing pieces that it was in there. And now you flow. Your blessings are coming. You're gonna feel it within you. Right? It's beautiful, guys. Hopefully that is gonna be happen to you in your life. Okay. I'm really happy for you guys if you get into this point. Back to you, darling.
Mhm.
Man, I'm
Yeah, just
excited.
wanted to remind to everyone in the chat, if you have some questions regarding the topic, or even if it doesn't relate to the topic, we'll welcome any questions. We'll be happy to hear how you're doing with your journeys and how we can help you better with all those transitions. But meanwhile, like, we're really happy to share what we've learned. But I'm always pressing into, oh, how we can make sure that we are addressing both individuals and the ones that are in some kind of partnerships or twin flame unions. So I think it's what we try to always say is just whatever was helping us in the journey first as individuals, and whatever happens after is it's between us and divine, and that's what you will be seeing yourself too. That, in your actions, and that's probably the biggest shift you will see in your actions. You will be recognizing this third power and third energy, that sometimes you may have your own doubts and you may not know where to go, but you will have this awareness, that there is this little voice that tells you that something orchestrated all this journey in the first place, right? Like, it's almost like you feel like you owe owe something to those energies, like you want to contribute, you want to cooperate with them. You may not like what they want to present to you, you may not be fully happy with where your life is going, but it feels like the energies wants to take you there. And there will be this curiosity, that's the first thing, but also this sense of, oh yeah, let me cooperate with you. I want to see where those energies want to take me. I see it may be scary, but it feels like almost like your duty, or maybe that's too much of a strong word, but there is some level of responsibility that comes with those, like, higher levels of awareness. I would say that you stop thinking just about yourself because you have to be happy, you have to just fill your own cup. Once you reach this state that you're perfectly happy, that's gonna be that time for expansion, that you will be asked, do you want to also fill other people's cup? Can you contribute? But always there will be this sense of awareness that, interconnectedness as well, but just this higher power that I was talking before
Mm-hmm.
earlier, that it orchestrates, but you're happy to go with this. You surrender because you see that it tries to get you somewhere. So you have this curiosity. Oh, let me see where it wanna take me.
Yeah. Actually, this is kind of like you brought it up again for it, and I was talking to people a while back in there. Thank you, darling. I mean, it's always nice like this. Um, this energy kind of like you described as like a dignity and so on and so on. Let me explain how this works a little bit. Okay, I'm gonna be putting into a 3D perspective so you can understand it. So you didn't like your life, you weren't happy and so on, and you ask for the divine. It's the same thing, like you're not happy of what you currently have, and you go into the bank to get a credit. So you get approved for the credit. So divine is giving you an energies, and they said like go ahead and do things in there. It's the same thing as like you have to repay that loan in there. It is the same thing when you do that inner work in the name of the divine. So that energy can be a more presentable, and you give it back for it. There is no such a something for nothing. You may feel like you may feel like mm, as a Paulina said, like a requirement or dignity or however there is like you must kind of like a give it back, but that's how it goes in there. And this is why the blessing it comes in. The blessing it comes in. How do you feel after you repay your debt? How do you feel when you repay your loan? How do you feel after you've done your work and your happiness with the divine? And guess what happens? The happiness of the divine is spreading to the other people. It's the same like, oh, this creditor is good or this bank is good. I finished it off. I'm happy. I don't have to do this anymore. It's a blessing. But if you understand that the divine wants you to be happy more than you do, they invested within you. They are engaged within you. And the only reasons you're not happy in there, how happy you are when you don't do the work that you need to do as a 3D physical work, you don't have the money, and now the creditors comes in and takes your, that comes in after you, right? They're chasing you, right? It's the same thing within the divine. Why don't feel happy? Did you did the divine work? Did you pay it back? Did you give it back? Are you doing that work in the name of within the divine within you? Because what it is the divine outside of you, it's also the divine within you. Then you understand it's the cooperations, inner self with outer self, with outer universe. And now this is the blessing when the divine comes in and the divine is blessing you. Oh, you did a great job. You want another loan? You want to get another happiness more and more to be happy? You can choose, right? But you know how it's gonna go in there. And this is it again to go back into this, guys. If you have any questions, you got anything in there, we're ready to talk to you. Okay, just ask some questions from here, not a problem. Suggesting the topics in there, because we have things up here that are for you. Okay, we're doing it our job up here. We are paying it back. It's the same way. You feel like sometimes, people are asking me, Dio, why I don't have money? Why don't they do this? Why all everyone else is over there and so on? And like, do you work? No. Okay, so you don't do the work. When somebody helps you, do you give them something? Do you pay back and so on? No. You see, you need to understand there is this little secret in there. Even the Bible, they talk about this 10% when they give the 10% out. And 10% of your time or something, can you invest 10% of your day in the name of the divine? You can go ahead and meditate. You can go ahead and pray. You can go out for a walk and have communications or messages with the universe in there. Okay. You can have this 10% of your time. If you're up for 10 hours, guess what? It's a 1 hour. 1 hour of your day you're investing on that relationships with the divine. And when I do that in there with the divine, that the reality helps that it comes in from the divine, it's going to help you with everything. You're decoding the messages that you get. You're decoding the energy. You're decoding the emotions. And then the journey is becoming a blessing. It's not anymore this higher level. It's like, oh, it's beautiful love, and it's so on and so on and so on. Or it's not like, I don't want to talk about my twin flame, and you know what, screw this DRI. I don't want to talk about it. You see, it's flat, stable, peaceful, blessing, and it goes. But you have to accept that. Accept the flow. You accept the flow, you flow, you go. And this is why, guys, we have this, we come in here for you guys to feel it, to see it.
Mhm.
Okay. So I want to say thank you guys for watching us.
Mhm. Yeah, it's good to share, and especially it's like it reminds us to do our work, and also it's I don't know, it's nice to see that whatever we are sharing is helping. So that's not this is a way to pay back too, right? But I wanted to talk very briefly because we're gonna be finishing soon. But about those blessings, like just for everyone as a reminder, it's like we are living in those dualities. So it depends on your perspective because you can see the same situation as a blessing or just the worst punishment. But it really sometimes the narrative you have to have is like this look from the place of evolution, right? Like if you're facing some adversity and it's super uncomfortable and you just don't know how to deal with the situation. It's just instead of seeing it's like, oh my goodness, another stone just fell on my head and I'm just too exhausted right now. See like, okay, if you can make it through, how much you are gonna be stronger anytime it will be happening again. Because you're gonna be reminding yourself that you can deal with those things. And that's how we are removing those mm, fears. We have some spiritual emergency going right now. So you may hear it. Um, but in general, I think this is like the part of training your mind, and especially I was looking into this quite intensely recently. That how much of those old patterns they want to come back, like they and the trouble to begin with is sometimes when you're increasing your awareness and you're aware of those dualities, but at the same time you're experiencing this awakened state, and at the same time your old self. This for me this is quite new, so it's like learning to navigate. It's not rejecting, like you cannot reject any part of you, you're just choosing from which layer you want to respond. So it comes with this awareness and observancy. So I think that's, as Dio mentioned, building this connection and just taking time to reconnect with yourself. It will be helping you to differentiate what is really the new self and what is this old that it just wants to react because it was always reacting this specific way. So is you just have to be gentle with those kind of changes because it's like you're learning to be aware of your multi-layer nature, right? Like it's just we are not just one. We have old self, we have new self, we have our higher self, and all of this is blended together. But you need to choose, like, okay, how I'm gonna respond to this, like which kind of version of me it's gonna respond in this situation. um, and then you can start seeing those things as a blessings because you will see, okay, this is tough, but what does it show in me, what it wants me to learn so I can evolve. So again, like I like example of separation is for me the most tangible one because that shows you what kind of approach you have towards separation. Do you see it like, oh my god, I'm just left on my own and I'm gonna die here, or I'm gonna be forever lonely? Or do you see it as a time for you to work on yourself and just empower yourself, so the next time you enter the connection, you're not entering because of your desperations or fears that you're gonna be abandoned again and all of those. You see, so it's, this is just a simple example, but it's, we can try to see those blessings in many many things. Maybe you want to add some.
Here, guys. I mean, a little bit empowerment in there for it. Yes, darling, you did a great video on your own, as Alona mentioned it in there. But here is that power, as Paulina was talking about it. Things are repeating. Your old self, your new self, your higher self, and so on in there. But when you know how this goes personally within you, you will know how that goes with a partner. You're not pointing the fingers anymore. You're not saying anything in there. You're talking about the reality. As they go through their issues, as I was going through my issues in there, she was standing by next to me. I was going through my crap, my stuff. Why is it? I'm like, what the heck, right? Until I understand that pattern. Now I understand that pattern. We talk about that pattern. Now we both understand it. So your personal work and communications is in there is great because that way the when the one teaches to learn, right? You accepting of that, and that's how the divine brings these things in here. And now, when you reach out to these patterns within yourself, within that awareness in there, of higher self, your old self, your new self, and what is going to be making the choices in there. You see what the choices you did before. Your old self is going to be, you need to act like this, like before. And guess what? Your new self is coming out at the other side. Is like, yeah, we're going to get the same result. You didn't change, right? You're doing the same things over and over and don't improve. Well, I'm here to improve it. And since I'm the new self in there, I'm going to be choosing the higher self. I'm going to change this. I will try to understand this better. I'm not going to act, but before I act, I'm going to try to understand it better. Here is your evolution. But that is it, the reality at the current moment, present in time. And you're accepting it. Okay. Yeah, you're going to fight your old self. Yeah, you're going to be old self is going to drag you down. Yes, of course, your old self is going to drain your new energy of the new self. It's the same thing of the ego is draining your soul, your ego of the facing of survival. All those years that you've been living from before, those patterns you see in a grandparents and a grandparents and so on in a state of survival. But now you're understanding the power that lies within you. And the improvement and the blessings are coming. You might not feel them, but they're coming. And you're gonna start manifesting. They're gonna come in. Okay, guys. So that's what I was wanted to say in there. So beautiful, beautiful explanation, darling. So
No, you got it right. That's how it is. If you understand how it works for you, you know that your partner also has layers. It's, and we are not stones. If we want to change, we can, but it takes work. But someone has to be willing to change, and then you're gonna start appreciating the people who are actually doing the work. That they can say, oh, I was wrong because I was really acting for my old self. It's not proper. I should really think about how I can change it, and I want to work on myself. And if you have those kinds of examples dealing with someone that really is ready to make those changes and is not afraid of saying, okay, I still have some things in me that I'm not really proud of, but I'll keep working. That's your very big green light, right? Like, in just that you can get through this. Like, you are building your trust, you're building your relationship stronger, because everyone will need to adjust, right? Like, there is no perfection here. but it's just, are you both ready to do the work? Mm.
You will understand the path of living in the realism, to be a real, and that begins with that accepting the reality. Do you understand how beautiful it's to be real and to live in the realism? You're going to understand that this is the path after the union. You got that union that you want, and so on in there. Because, you know, you don't lie, you don't cheat, you don't have face mask, you don't have back mind agendas, you don't have all this programming and so on. You have so much energies to work to create into the reality, into the realism in there. You don't act for fear. You're acting from love, from compassion. Yeah, confirmations are coming. Hi, Jeff. Hello. Been some trying times lately with an anxiety and try to follow my heart. Seems to be meeting people who are spiritually curious. Still feel fragile heart, wise around trusting people. Myself. Jeff, first of all, thank you. Thank you for the comment. And so, for it, I want you to look at it in there, what you wrote me. How would you describe this if somebody else wrote you this? Here is the keyword in there, trying. Between the trying and do, there is a difference in there. If you have an anxiety, why you are anxious about it? Take a look why you are anxious about it and how to, what can it makes you not to be anxious, this an anxiety within you. And if there is a, because of other people, you have a codependency problem. If it because of you, you need to have some improvement within your parents, inside of you, in there, that you're looking at, that love has to be put in within you. And you say trying to follow in your heart. Following at first your soul is going to help you within your heart in there. And you're saying seems to be meeting people who are spiritual curious. Yes, a lot of people are spiritually curious in there. Fragile heart, it tells me that you've been wanted. Still fragile heart around trusting people, myself. Before you're trusting people, can you be able to trust yourself? A lot of the time, the people who cannot trust outside, they've been wounded, they are preventing themselves, they are kind of like putting these walls in there not to be hurt. It's like a preventive mechanism in there. But when you build yourself, when you understand within yourself that the people will love you if they choose to love you, and they cannot hurt you anymore, they're hurting themselves. They lie to you, they lie themselves. They're hurting you, they're hurting themselves. They don't hurt you because you're living coffee. It is what it is. Oh, they don't love me. That's me. They weren't enough for me. Because you're afraid to open up your heart. Open up your heart for you first. Build that heart. The heart got broken because it was codependent. The heart got broken because you loved the wrong people. The heart got broken because of things that you wanted to achieve so much from your desires, not from your soul. You did not know what love it is. Now you understand what the love is. And living into the realism of the it is what it is in there, you're gonna be keep on going. You're strong, you're powerful in there. And this is why once you're understanding this energy of it is what it is, you're gonna have no fear. What is a fear? Fear is illusions. Once you're staring at the fears and you go through it, it's like, oh, that's what it was. Fear of failure. Fear of failure. If you're feared to fail, you don't try. If you don't try, how would you know can you do? And this is why a lot of the people who living in the fear of failure, they don't even try. And that's what they failed. People who try and do, oh, they're like, oh my God, I can do more. Oh, give me some more, man. I get it. Right? And that's how you trained. You train yourself from the spirit into the soul. And now the soul has this muscles in here. Your muscles, your spiritual muscles is in there. You don't have no more fear of failure. Why? Who is in the power in there? Your spirit. Who controls you? Your soul. Your soul is empowering you. And now you're strong, right? You build a diamond within you. And when the people loves you, you reflect that love with the brightest shining, right? When the things are tough, you handle them. When the things are whatever, but guess what? You don't have any more fear of failure because you understand. I can try 1, 2, 3, 5 times, and the sixth time I'll succeed because it is what it is. Okay, and that's is this divine power that it's coming in there for it. So seeing it in there, when you aligning that it is what it is what it is aligning with accepting of the reality. It is a path. It's a beautiful path, and that is this path of when a two people is matching that acceptance of reality. I mean, I wish I can explain it to you what feels really there, but I can't. There is no words. It's like a happiness within the silence, but everything is there, and there is no silence. It's beauty, and it's only a quietness, vibrations of happiness. Akuna Matata, no worries. You're sitting on the hammock somewhere in some kind of dimensions, and you're just enjoying the view. Of course, you have a Pumbaa next to you, or you have the Simba, but you gotta have a friends to enjoy there. You have your partner in there to join it. But imagine you're with your partner in that state. Everyone in the twin flames journey wants to have that state, but not everyone wants to work on it. And Jeff, don't fear, but look in yourself, Jeff. Okay, look at it in your own self, because the work that I did and Paulina did in there for it, we did without power of the spirit. It's not comfortable to face your old self. It's not comfortable to face the damage that was done. It's not comfortable to face the situations that happened in your past, previous connections, previous wounds. The easiest way it is to throw up the towel and call it quit. And your spirit says like, oh, no, no, no. I didn't awake you to call quit. Seek it at that power of the spirit within you. Open it up and open up to love first you, and the right person will emerge when you don't look for love. The right love comes in when you don't look for it. If you look for love, you're still gonna be suffer because you're codependent in the love. When you give that love to yourself, you build yourself, you're ready to be in a proper relationship. The love comes to you, you're attracting it. You're not, you're not looking for it. And the divine is going to be telling you in your spirit, here we go. I will put you on that state of inner peace, amazement, and so on. And this is what I'm engaging you with. You guys have to achieve it. Okay? So if you close your heart in there Let's see what this is in there. So on.
Yeah, but even with those connections, like there might be fears. Like we are facing it, you know. It's not like everyone who has been wounded, they will be thinking twice, three times, four times, and that's a part of this journey too. This is like a test of your own faith, right? So many times we are facing those situations, and sometimes you just have to trust other people. You know, it's hard to trust, but in the end, if the trust is not enough, there's a faith that, you know, whoever is put in your way, and you took the best, your best work to overanalyze everything, because right now you're aware enough, and you prepared yourself, and just you checked everything that was there to check. There will still be mistrust, there will still be this little element. You just have to hope that this time it's gonna be proper, and you accept these connections that are coming to you as a blessing, and you want to test it out. You know, you put all your faith in this. Like, of course we all may be wrong, right? Like you never really know until you try. But with this curiosity, this like spiritual muscle, as Dio said, this curiosity to check this out and really see in reality how it's gonna be to perform, it's gonna be stronger than fears. At some point it's gonna be okay, in the end what can happen? Like, it's gonna fail again, as it used in the past, and I survived. So I think that's how we train ourselves. Like that's the question that you're asked is like, are you courageous enough, knowing that you may get hurt again? Like, but are you willing to try, because there is something beautiful in front of you? Do you want to take a risk? Hmm. So
Exactly.
that,
You're welcome, Jeff. You're welcome. Hopefully, there. If you have any more, you can guys email us in there. Charlene, MC. So my circumstances are a bit complicated, and I'm a bit. I believe that some things and everything sure happen for a reason. I'm a Pisces in a relationship with Capricorn, and I've been experiencing some rough times. Okay. Astrology wise, if you were talking about this, especially when you have connections of two zodiac signs next to each other, um, I mean, I have to see the charts, of course, in there, but I'm gonna be, because me and Paulina, she's a Virgo, I'm a Libra. We are right next to each other, okay? I'm gonna kind of like giving you a little heads up on this. So don't get too much into astrology, but if you give me some chart or you want a readings, you can send me an email. I can do some readings for you. We can see these things, but don't prejudge yourself with this. Something, some things, okay, and yeah, everything is happens for a reasons. But look at it, that some things. If you are able to dig in it deep within the some things, you're gonna be finding some things that they are buried, and they are things in your subconscious. So if your subconscious levels tells you that Capricorn and Pisces will have issues, then you're gonna have some issues in there. But if you see it of that perspective, that the Pisces is the highest vibrations of the Capricorn, but you have to be taking something in there, unfinished work of the Capricorn in there, in order to improve your Pisces. While he have to evolve from the Capricorn and get something from the Pisces, something within his spirit. Capricorn is usually a very spiritual work, isn't there? That they are more materialistic, but they are missing the spirituality at work, and they need some spiritual enlightenment in there. Some Capricorns, they have things in Pisces, and they understand how this goes in there. So when you look at it of this perspective, there has got to be a reason why you're a Capricorn, why you're a Pisces, and he is a Capricorn in there. Not up to date on about our natal chart at this time, but I'm currently hanging out with a close friend who is a Virgo. I'm connected to a deep level with them both, but I am twin. I'm trying to understand what I am. In order to understand who you are, you have to forget what everyone told you you are. That programming, parents, close friends. bosses. They told you what you are. You need to take time. You know what I'm suggesting really and the people and what really works. I will tell you. Take 3 to 6 months out of anything and go find you who you are yourself. Go out on the trips. Go out in the places that you never been. Go out to cultures that you don't even talk the language. Go put yourself a little bit uncomfortable. Go find your strength and powers during these moments. Go see yourself in the mirror and go see what you're capable out of it. Go face your fears. Go develop your love. Go trust in the divine that everything is going to be okay. And see what is going to be turning after that. We are going to be more powerful as it is. Okay. So talking about within this in there for when you see this kind of like of things in there, finding yourself or you think you know who you are in there, but as you is inside of you. You're a piece of the universe. Universe sent you with a particular energy. When you are born here on Earth, your astrology chart shows up the energy that is in you. And that energy is in you had to match the gravity pull of the way the Earth and the solar system is, so your soul can enter the body. Okay? The gravity, the quantum principles. One thing enters other, going through the wormhole and entering there. So this is what I'm suggesting in there. Um, you're saying later on, don't know wherever I'm not making a mistake or whatever. There's gonna be also dualities in there. It's either gonna be a blessing or a lesson. You don't find out only by doing it, but just sitting it and not making anything in there, you have to do something. You can't just sit there with this. That's right, laughing out loud. Yeah, I know, right? I'm a bit ahead of you on that. That I am actually. I don't know how. Charlene, if you can kind of like adding what does that mean? I'm a bit ahead of you. For it, maybe you already done something. Um, I've been guided to where I stand for. You are so right. Thank you for validity. Thank you for the validity. Made my day. Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome on that. And I've been in talk for traveling to this place to get away. Great, great. Yeah. And this is what it is. I experiencing through myself. I know what happened to me, but I didn't live to the positions of what the people told me of what I am. I had to know who I am, me. Okay. All right, that was a good ones. And so if there is no more questions, and Charlene, hopefully that yeah, you're welcome about it. And hopefully there is going to be some more discussions up here. Who knows? Maybe we're going to talk about and create questions and answers so you guys can come and we can have some more great time. I'm not the one who they think. I know they don't think that's much. Oh, you're welcome. So that's what we're going to do. Maybe the next time we're going to be posting it 2 days ahead saying question and answers for the journey. Okay. So you guys can come in and asking some questions and we will give it a shot, giving our best. And we appreciate you so much.
Like the
So
branches of God. There are
yes,
some questions that have to be asked.
Yes.
Um, hmm. Well, thanks everyone for your question, for sharing. Welcome to the new people who came to the chat. And yeah, if you have any questions, just put them in the comments and we're gonna be putting answers for it. And good luck with your journeys.
Thank you guys for coming in. Come back the next Saturday. We are usually Saturday at the same time. You guys know for it. And we'll be here. All right, guys. So thank you for coming in. Be love. Enjoy the things in there. And accept the reality, okay? Accept that darn thing called reality. All right, guys? It's much better. Little secret. It's much better. Be love, guys.